What's up guys? Today we're going to cook an awesome chicken recipe coming straight from my home country, France. And this recipe is really awesome because it's very easy to make and really extracts the most amount of flavor out of chicken and vegetables. It will make you feel like you're having a cheat meal even though you're having an awesome, wholesome, healthy meal. And this will be a great way for you to build your skill set to become a better cook and take control of your diet by cooking something delicious but also very nutritious that will help you lose weight or maximize your health depending on your goals. And as you know guys, this channel is all about maximizing your health and helping you through your weight loss program by giving you very practical tips. And one of the most practical tips is learning how to do simple, delicious meals that will allow you to feel like you're not even on a diet, but you're still going to lose weight and get healthier. Now this recipe basically has chicken, so a complete protein with all the amino acids, and bone broth, which has a lot of collagen, so which will help you with your joint and muscle health. And then we'll have a range of vegetables served with it, which will give you minerals and vitamins, as well as prebiotics that will really help your gut health. And also the great thing about this dish as well is that because it's family style, if you're single or just a couple, with one chicken you can get probably 6 different portions, so you can have meals for 3 days with that recipe. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Now let's get cooking. So first, let's look at the ingredients we have here. So we have a chicken, a full chicken right there that has been defrosted. I actually have a pasture-raised chicken, which is probably the healthiest and most delicious type of chicken that you can get. If you're going to a regular grocery store, you probably won't find that. They might have a free-range organic chicken that would be better than a standard chicken. So anyways, we have that whole chicken. Things that I absolutely want you to have in your recipe are onions. Those are going to be the stars of the show in this recipe. I'm also adding carrots, garlic, potatoes, turnips, thyme, and rosemary. So it's always good to have everything laid out first before you start cooking to simplify the cooking once you start to get going. But as you can see here, very simple ingredients. And then one last ingredient is bone broth. Here I have a chicken bone broth. The chicken bone broth would actually make that recipe taste a lot better than if you didn't use it. So definitely try to get your hands on a good bone broth that you can use for the recipe. And then one last thing that I'm using also is ghee. You can use butter or olive oil, but I recommend ghee or butter for taste. I think it will be better with the chicken. And we'll be using about 1 to 2 tablespoons. That really depends on your taste. All right guys, so let's get started here. What I have here is a ceramic dish where I place my chicken. We're first going to start by putting the ghee or the butter on the chicken. Take about a tablespoon, and here you can use your hands, and you're going to smother the chicken with all this ghee all over, just like this. Make sure you wash your hands after you're done here, because you don't want to touch poultry like this when it's raw, and then touch other foods because of bacteria, so be careful with that. But for now, let's just make sure all the ghee is on this chicken. After you smothered your chicken with the ghee, what you'll do is you'll simply add salt all over your chicken, some pepper. So you can really go for it with the pepper. And same as the ghee, you know, you want to do it on both sides. Now that you've added the ghee, the pepper, and the salt, all you're going to do is basically grossly chop your vegetables. So here I'm getting my carrot here, chopping it in a few pieces, and I'm just going to dump it in there. Not really caring about the presentation at this point. And you're going to do that with all of the vegetables. Here we go with the turnips. So for the turnips, you want to remove the tops and the bottoms. And of course, what I've done here before is making sure that all the vegetables were cleaned. So I just passed them through some water. So the turnips, as you cut them, you can remove some of the parts that look less appetizing for you. But overall, you don't really need to peel them. They taste just as good without peeling them. So like I mentioned earlier, the onions are really the star of the show here. And besides washing them, you really don't have to do anything else. Don't remove any of the outside. That's going to taste even better as it cooks in the broth. Same thing with the garlic. You don't have to peel them at all. You can just put the garlic in there. And then the potatoes, you can chop them if you want. You don't have to. So some people here are trying to lose weight and think that potatoes aren't good for that, you should watch some of my videos about how to make sure that you can lose weight using potatoes. But it's really here all about quantity. I mean, if you see, I put maybe 4 potatoes in there, and we have maybe 6 portions of chicken. So it's really not gonna prevent you from losing any weight. If this is the kind of food that you're eating, with whole foods, good sources of vegetables, good sources of meat, and no junk on the side, no bread or no other starch, you're totally going to get to the kind of weight that you're looking for with this. And if you want to gain more weight, you can add some more potatoes. If you want to lose a little more weight, you reduce the amount of potatoes, but don't get rid of it. So as you can see also here, I'm adding the rosemary and the thyme in there, and I'm just placing everything grossly. Like I said, this recipe is really not difficult. All you need is the ingredients, and to wash the ingredients, and then to season and put everything together. So as you can see here, the only thing that you need to make sure for this recipe is that you have enough space for you to fit all of the vegetables and the chicken in one dish. So once I've put all of the vegetables and the chicken and the herbs in there, what you're going to do is you're going to get your chicken broth, okay, and your bone broth, you're just going to basically drop it in that dish all over everything. You're going to put the whole box of bone broth in there. Yep, just a pound of bone broth for this recipe. And then once I did that, I'm going to add salt and pepper to the vegetables. All right, that's it. Your dish is basically ready to go into the oven. So I preheated the oven at 320, and I'll leave it in the oven at 320 for 1 hour and 45 minutes, and then 15 minutes at 400 to make it a little crispy. But I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but if I didn't, make sure that you have a dish that's deep and has a lid. Having the lid is crucial here. If you don't add a lid, everything's going to dry up and it's not going to taste good. By adding the lid and putting it in the oven that way, it's going to retain all the moisture inside and your food is going to taste delicious. All the vegetables are going to cook down and they will stay very moist and very tender. Same thing with your chicken. So very important to have the lid on when you put this in the oven at 320. All right, so we're going to put this in the oven and then we'll look at what it looks like when it comes out. All right, guys, this is it. So it's been cooking for about 2.5 hours. I actually removed the lid after 2 hours and 15 minutes, and I cranked up the heat to 400 in the last 15 minutes to make the chicken brown a little bit. And so this is what we get. The chicken smells awesome. The fat from the chicken has rendered with the ghee and the bone broth, and all of the vegetables look cooked perfectly. So as you can see, you can cut into the vegetables easily, and the chicken is definitely ready. All right, guys, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the recipe. One thing I didn't mention that I mentioned earlier is I actually used 2 boxes of bone broth, 2 pounds of bone broth for this chicken. So I use 1 pound of bone broth for half a chicken and 2 pounds for 1 whole chicken. The bottom line is when you add the bone broth, you want to make sure that the bone broth covers most of the vegetables in there. That's for you to know about how much bone broth you need to put there. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy that recipe, and I'll see you next time.